Welcome. Great to see you all here. A lot of familiar faces there. That's really good. So today's presentation is on ANZCA Go and ANZCA performance exams. In essence, they're the same. But in order to get us started, I'll introduce May Gavin. May Gavin's our new chairperson. So May, did you want to introduce the day for us? Thank you.
Hey, hello everyone. Great to see so many faces here. And this is kind of my first outing as chairperson, so please bear with me as I'm finding my way in a new role. Now, we're going to try and get through the information very quickly, and I know most of you are ANZCA people, but just in case this video is used by people who are more familiar with other systems, I just want to go through a few general things before we get down to tin tacks with the Go and the performance exams. Now, I believe very, very passionately that an exam board is there to support the teachers, not the other way around. We're there to help teachers teach in the best way possible and the way that suits them. So, of course, that can mean a number of different things. We're not all in private schools that pay, $100 grand a year for their kids to go to school. We're not at all in situations where we can audition our students. Most of us work in situations where we'll have students who are very talented, and we'll have another cohort of students who may have different goals in life and may need music in a different aspect of their life rather than this constant sense of achievement. We don't necessarily want to put kids on that escalator from preparatory to grade 8 and stopping no stations, just going straight up. We actually want to give students and teachers the opportunity to grow musically and to experiment. So the first thing I'm going to say is that an exam syllabus is not a teaching method. It really isn't. They're quite different things, and exams are really useful in terms of giving people deadlines and getting them to a standard by a certain time, because most kids will not work quite as hard if they don't have a deadline. The thing I love about ANZCA, and I taught AMEB for 30 years before I moved to ANZCA, but the thing I love about ANZCA is the fact that it is very, very flexible. And I'm in a situation where I work, for example, where there's a strong jazz culture in the school. There's also, because it's a Christian school, a lot of the kids want to do worship music, which of course means they need to read chords and be fluent in that. So not everyone's going to come to me and want to do a full classical syllabus. So I find that ANZCA is very flexible because I can still use the standard of the exam and I can tailor it to each student. So for those of you who maybe are not quite as familiar with ANZCA, we've got two flagship streams with comprehensive exams. We've got classical and modern, and pretty much that doesn't need any elaboration. It's pretty clear what they are. But from grade 1 in both classical and modern, you have this wonderful option of own choice for one of the pieces. And I absolutely love this because I find it's a really good way of challenging kids to go outside their comfort zone. They might love their classical music. Great, let's do a boogie woogie for your list D. Some of them really love all their modern music, and you say, okay, well, why don't we do Fur-Elise? You're doing grade 5, let's do Fur-Elise as your own choice. And that's your little introduction to classical music. Because let's face it, kids don't know what they like. That's one of our jobs as a teacher, is to introduce them to things that they might end up absolutely loving. So that's the first thing I would say. And of course, your comprehensive exam has the technical work, the oral tests, the sight reading, and the general knowledge. That's all included. Our next option are performance exams. And I know these are very popular amongst teachers. And what they require is a list A from the classical syllabus and 3 other contrasting pieces from other lists. Things to remember about this: performance isn't necessarily a soft option. because we are actually requiring a higher standard on 4 pieces. There's nothing else required. So if your pieces aren't up to snuff, you're not going to do very well, basically. It is requiring kids to have that little bit of an X factor to their playing and actually perform the exam for us. Now, there's various reasons why you might use this rather than a comprehensive exam. And I find that I might use this for kids who are challenged by a big workload. For example, the kids that are in BCE who haven't got music as the highest priority in their lives, but they still want to achieve something. A performance exam is more achievable for them because they don't have to spend all the time on general knowledge and sight reading and all that sort of stuff at the end. It works quite well. Adult students who've got busy lifestyles, it really works well for them. Children who are maybe not neurotypical with their behaviour, they sometimes find the viva voce part of an exam quite traumatic. Performance exam is perfect for them. Also, students who perhaps don't have English as a first language. I've got quite a few of those at my school. One lovely girl I'm teaching at the moment who's doing grade 7. She's from mainland China and she's doing really, really well. But to do the viva voce section at grade 7 would literally be beyond her at the moment. She's still learning the letter names of the notes in English. So these are all situations where you might consider using ANZCA performance just to take that little bit of pressure off. I would strongly advise teachers, regardless of what they choose to do for the exam option at the end, I'd really advise you all to look through the syllabus and teach as much of the comprehensive syllabus as you can, because what you tend to find if kids are just doing the performance 4 pieces and nothing else, they get to about grade 5 and the technique is really not up to snuff because they're not doing all that remedial work on their technique constantly with scales and all of that sort of stuff. And of course, we all know sight reading is an important skill. Oral tests are a really essential skill to have. So I would strongly advise that you do cover that ground, but of course, it just takes the pressure off if you're not going to be examined in it. The newcomer to all of this is ANZCA Go. And can I have a little show of hands? I can't see everyone, but can I have a show of hands on people who've used ANZCA Go so far? Yeah, I can see a few hands going up. Now, it's when I was first discussing this with a group of piano teacher friends, someone said in a completely outraged voice, "Oh, it's as if they're doing music for fun." And I sort of thought about that for a while, and I thought, well, what's wrong with that? I've been lucky enough to have a few students become professional musicians after they've left me, and that's great, but the vast majority of them don't. And I think that's probably safe to say for most of our students are doing music for fun. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's everything right about that. So the idea of ANZCA Go is once again to offer kids an option where the idea of having 4 pieces or a comprehensive exam already on one day is just a bit too much for them. They can upload 1 piece at a time, and I know both Tony and Joe are going to touch on this a little bit more, but they upload 1 piece at a time. Once they've uploaded the first one, they have a year to finish doing all 4 pieces. Now, that might seem like a very soft option, and yeah, it probably is, but it's going to give some kids the opportunity to finish a grade and to get feedback and to get that positive reinforcement that otherwise would not do an exam and maybe wouldn't even be doing music. I'm using it, for example, for a kid I teach who's in year 12. He's a school captain, he's in the debating team, he's doing sport, he's in the school production, he's in about 4 bands. He really is time poor. Music isn't even really his thing, but he just loves doing it. So we decided to do a Go exam for grade 7 because it's just going to suit him so much better. yes, it's a soft option. It is definitely a softer option, but there's nothing wrong with having that for some kids. I think a lot of us who've been through the COVID situation, and you know, Victoria had it pretty bad. We had many, many months of lockdown. A lot of kids coming out of that weren't really very confident in doing things like exams again. And for some of them, like I had one girl who didn't want to perform or do anything in front of anyone for a long time after COVID. She just got quite agoraphobic. And doing a go exam would have been really helpful to her at that time. There's all sorts of situations where it would be really appropriate to use it. Some teachers are going to just use it for everyone, and that's their choice. I don't necessarily think it's a good choice for everyone, but it's there as an option. So, yes, I just sort of thought a little bit of a thumbnail sketch on the options that we have as ANZCA teachers was in order, and just having a bit of a think outside the box as to when you might use these exams. You can put an exam entry in with a dozen students all doing different types of exams, and you can really tailor it to fit your situation and your students' needs. So I just thought I'd throw those things out there, and I'm going to hand back to Tony now. I think there's going to be an opportunity to ask questions at the end. So yeah, I'll be really interested to see what you guys think of that, and if you have any comments or questions at the end. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, May. Now, there's going to be 2 pre-recorded sessions now. I'm going to present one on the performance syllabus requirements. So as long as you understand what those requirements are, you're not going to have any problem at all with ANZCA Go. ANZCA Go is purely a performance exam in 4 parts. But it's not just any 4 pieces. Look, there are requirements. So let me get that video up and we'll get started on that. ANZCA Performance and ANZCA Go syllabuses. This video will explain the options for both of these formats. In order to understand the syllabus requirements for ANZCA Go, you must first need to understand the requirements for the performance syllabus. Once this is clear, the transition to ANZCA Go is very simple. The only difference is the pieces are uploaded one by one over a 12-month period. Both performance syllabus and ANZCA Go examinations are offered as video examinations. It is crucial to first understand the performance syllabus requirements before entering for video exams. Today's presentation will focus primarily on the piano performance syllabus, but the requirements for other syllabuses are very similar, and brief overview of the differences will be provided at the end of the presentation. The vast majority of the information for piano applies to all other instruments. Performance syllabus requirements are listed at the end of each syllabus after the diploma examinations are explained. For the piano syllabus, see page 130. Performance examinations requires the performance of 4 pieces only. There are no other requirements in terms of technical work, general knowledge, oral tests, or sight reading. Teachers are encouraged to tailor their students' technical work according to the keys and requirements of the selected pieces, but this is not assessed. There are no theory or other requisites at any level. Program notes are required for performance diploma. ANZCA Go examinations are offered by video only from preparatory to grade 8. Performance examinations are offered from preparatory to performance diploma and are available for both video and face-to-face. Please note there is also a video option for introductory examinations This level requires the performance of 2 pieces and technical work. List pieces may be chosen as follows. So this will deal with preparatory to grade 5 at this stage. So a program of 4 pieces, 3 of which must be contrasting, chosen from the classical lists and or the modern categories, and 1 free choice piece. 4 pieces in total must be presented. For the first 3 lists, so lists A, B and C, the pieces must be contrasting. That means they must be from different modern categories or from the classical lists in the syllabus, or any combination of both. Choosing a list A piece. It's important to understand the requirements for this list. This is where errors have occurred in the past, resulting in reduced marks due to non-compliance. The list A piece must be chosen from either the list A pieces of the classical syllabus or the supplementary list of modern stream works. This is available on the syllabus page of the ANZCA website. It's titled the Performance Supplement. This requirement is not negotiable. So the list A, the first piece of a performance program, must be chosen from one of the above categories. So the list A must be either from a classical list A or from the prescribed list for the performance supplement modern pieces. Okay, moving on, choosing list B and C pieces. List B and C are chosen from any combination of the list B and C of the classical syllabus or any modern stream category. These pieces must be chosen from 2 different classical lists or modern categories or a combination of both. At this point, the candidate should have 3 contrasting pieces, lists A, B and C, from different classical lists or modern categories or a combination of both. Some more information on contrasting pieces. It's important for candidates to demonstrate diversity in their performance. It may be possible to choose 4 pieces from 4 different categories, yet they are all very similar in style. For example, they may all be slower, reflective type pieces. Alternatively, they might be up-tempo, racing type pieces with little opportunity for the student to demonstrate their expressive skills. This should be avoided. A diverse combination of pieces which allows candidates to demonstrate a wide variety of performance styles is essential. So keep that in mind when choosing the program. Choosing a list D piece. The list D of the performance syllabus is a free choice list. This piece can be selected from any source as long as it meets the required standard for the grade. Students can elect to choose another piece from the set classical lists and modern categories if they prefer. Students can even present their own composition as a free choice. They should present the examiner with a score or a lead sheet on exam day. Classical or modern? It's worth pointing out here that the performance syllabus does not require candidates to choose all classical or all modern pieces. Any combination of the pieces from both streams is allowed and encouraged, as long as the list A requirement and the contrasting program requirements are met. Any combination can be selected. This is true in all levels from preparatory to performance diploma. So when you've completed the exam, the certificate you receive will state pianoforte performance. There's no reference at all to modern or classical. Now there's a slight difference in the higher grades, so grade 6 to performance diploma. So from grade 6, the classical syllabus introduces a prescribed list of works for the list D. Candidates can now consider these pieces when they're choosing their list B, C, or D pieces for the performance program. Performance diploma pieces must be chosen from the associate performer lists, so that's a different thing there. Again, we reiterate that even in these higher levels, including performance diploma, candidates are not required to choose all classical or all modern pieces. The program can be any combination of the pieces from both streams as long as the list A requirement and the contrasting program requirements are met. Of course, if candidates want to choose all their pieces from classical or modern syllabus, that is perfectly fine. Okay, now the final level for the performance syllabus is the performance diploma. But the performance diploma is not offered for ANZCA Go examinations. ANZCA Go examinations are only available up to grade 8. Students wanting to proceed to the diploma levels should move to the performance syllabus or the classical and modern syllabuses for the few years prior to grade 8 in order to develop the stamina and concentration required for this executive level. Students studying for the performance diploma are reminded that the same standard of performance required for the associate diploma is also expected for the performance diploma. So there's no lowering of standard in the expectations for this level. The one additional requirement for students studying the performance diploma is they must prepare and submit program notes as detailed in the performance syllabus section. So that's, in that area, page 130 we were talking about of the piano syllabus. Embellishment, improvisation. Are they required for the performance syllabus? At all levels, embellishment or improvisation in modern stream pieces is encouraged, but it's not mandatory for the performance syllabus. Okay, so there's a lot to take in there, and now that we've recorded it, of course you can always come back to it, slow down and stop at each section to really try and understand the requirements there. Keep in mind the main thing is the list A. It must be a list A or one of the alternative modern pieces. And then, the requirements for the list D. And of course, we keep saying the contrasting program is essential as well. So the differences for guitar, singing, drum kit and other instruments are not very big. They're not major. So the main difference between the piano syllabus and the other instruments is in the way the list A piece is selected. So for singing, you can choose a list A piece or a piece, a folk or musical song from the modern syllabus. For guitar, a list A from the contemporary classic or the modern guitar syllabus. That's a list A. For drum kit, a list A, B and C must be selected from the syllabus. With drum kit, there's no modern and classical stream. There's just drum kit, so you must choose a list A, B, C from the syllabus. For other instruments, check the relevant syllabus for all other requirements for those instruments. Okay, I think I'll pass you over to Joe now. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it's Jo here at the ANZCA offices in Ringwood. This video is to show you how to record and upload your Go exams. The first thing you'll need to do is to consider which device you'll use to record. It's easier to record and then complete the enrolment and upload the process, etc., all from the one device. So once you have your first piece recorded for Go, you'll be enrolling your student, filling in the details, paying for the exam, and uploading that video all in the one process. And you can see that it would be much easier if you had everything that you need available to you on the one device. So when you're ready and you've got a video available to upload, go to anzca.com.au, go to the exam entry, click the country that you're in and scroll down until you find the Enroll Online button. Then you've got some options here, but we're obviously looking for the video exam option, so we click on that button. We've got some information here and some suggestions. If you don't have a teacher number, or if you're in New Zealand, you'll need to make sure that you register and receive the correct teacher number for this process. There's information about instruments and grades. There's a place where you go into video performance exams, but that's not for us today. In the video guidelines, there's a PDF there that shows you what's required in order to see the exam really clearly once you've videoed it. So for example here, the piano student here, we can see both her feet and both her hands. So we need to make sure that the way that the video is positioned allows the examiners to see very clearly what's going on. Also, we require a file that's no larger than 2 gigabytes. Try and avoid recording in 4K. If you do have a large file, use Clipchamp to compress and reduce the file into a smaller size. Clip as in clipboard, champ as in champion. So that's there for you to look at a little bit more closely. Let's go and click the Go button. We're going to type in our teacher number. And that brings up the teacher information. That's me, that's my teacher number, my email. And then we're going to go into student details. Now I'm going to pretend that I'm the student now. If the student doesn't have their own email, then a parent email would be just as good here. Okay. Now we need to make sure that we have our classifications accurate. Not everybody's going to want to play the accordion for an exam. I'm going to enrol myself into woodwind. And it's a flute performance exam. Remember, Go is a type of performance exam. It's just a Go exam rather than a video performance exam. And I'm just going to enrol in grade 1. Now, if you are in a position where you are needing to transfer from one type of exam into this exam here, you probably have already paid the transfer fee through the office or through the bank. So you'll need to have a coupon code rather than pay the amount again. So you'll need to email the office and they'll give you a coupon code. So let's pop the coupon code in there, and that just stops the requirement for me to pay. And I'm confirming that I've got one video at least ready to upload, because you won't be able to do anything further unless you have a video ready to upload. Alright, so now we're going to go through the uploading process. You can see how it's really streamlined. I'm going to upload my first piece first. It doesn't have to be a list A. It can be any of your pieces. You'll just need to ensure that you have adhered to the performance requirements and the syllabus requirements. So I'm going to write down the piece of my first piece of music, just typing it in, and then it asks me to drop the files or select the files. So this is where it's really easy if everything is all on the one device. If it's not all on the one device, it's a little bit more difficult to manage. So we're going to wait for this blue line here to complete moving across the entire screen. It says maximum number of files reached. That just means that we can only upload one file at a time. So it does take a little time for that line to go all the way through to the end. It's quite obvious when it's gone to the end, so it goes blank again. And then what you're required to do is press the upload your piece button after that process has completed. And then you are told that the upload was successful and that this is the same thing that you would go to when you're ready to upload further pieces of music. Now, once that happens, there's quite a few things that are triggered. Once you've uploaded your first piece, you'll receive an email confirming the submission, and it also includes a link that you will need to use for the next 3 uploads for that particular exam. Keep that email with the link in a safe place. You'll be needing to use that link to bypass the enrolment process and the payment process when you upload the next lot of pieces. So don't lose that link. The office will also receive an email informing them of the submission. An examiner will be chosen to assess your piece and the rest of the pieces for this particular exam. So the whole exam receives one examiner. The office will forward the link of the video to the examiner. Once the piece has been assessed, a mini report will be sent to the office and then to the teacher and the student or the parent email. In the meantime, let's pretend that we're ready to upload our next piece for assessment. So we've found this email and we're going to click that link. And you'll see that it has bypassed the enrolment and the payment requirements. And then now I'm going to, start uploading the next lot of pieces. So I've already done piece 1. I now need to do piece 2. Again, you're going to be filling in your information here. You're going to be uploading your files here. Wait for that line to go all the way through to the other side of the screen. And then once that line has finished, it will disappear, and that's where you upload your piece. Okay. So you'll see that the process just repeats over and over and over again. Once you have uploaded your first piece for assessment, you've got 365 days or a whole year to complete the rest of the exam. Upon enrolment and uploading the first video, the person who enrolled the student will receive a confirmation email including a link that must be kept somewhere safe for future use for that exam. All 4 pieces are assessed by the same examiner. The student and the teacher receive mini reports after each piece has been assessed. And at the end of the exam, an overall report including a final comment and a certificate that's ready to be printed will be emailed to you. So I hope that helps you understand that process. It can be a little bit confusing, and if you are a bit confused, that's okay, because we've all been on a bit of a learning curve and you're not alone. But if there is some concern around the process, do feel free to email or give the office a call and we can help you go through that again. All the best and have a good day.